What happens when ambition, technology, and unchecked power collide? What if the very company claiming to connect the world was also tearing it apart? In Careless People, Sarah Wynn-Williams, a former top executive at Facebook, pulls back the curtain on life inside one of the most powerful companies on the planet. This is not a typical memoir. It's a reckoning. Inside this book, you'll learn the internal culture of Facebook from someone on the inside, why ethics often took a backseat to growth, how well-meaning people justified harmful decisions, the psychological toll of working in big tech, what it means to speak out against a company you helped build. This is a rare, honest, and deeply personal look at what happens when the world's most influential platform loses its moral compass, and how one leader decided to stop being silent. Section 1. The Inside Story. Life at Facebook. Sarah Wynn-Williams joined Facebook with optimism and purpose. Like many others, she believed in the mission to bring the world closer together. But as she rose through the ranks, she witnessed a different reality, one where growth was prioritized over responsibility. Dissent was quietly discouraged. Ethical red flags were often labeled as PR risks. She describes a culture of speed, ambition, and intense loyalty to leadership, particularly to Mark Zuckerberg. Many employees felt they were doing good, but in practice, that idealism often masked systemic carelessness. Section 2. Growth at any cost. One of the most eye-opening parts of the book is how Facebook's obsession with scale led to moral blind spots. Our metric was engagement, not well-being. Executives constantly chased user growth, engagement, and advertising revenue, often at the expense of truth, democracy, and mental health. Wynn-Williams shares moments where decisions were made that enabled misinformation to spread globally, authoritarian regimes to manipulate narratives, teenage anxiety and polarization to skyrocket. And yet, the company kept growing. Section 3. The Culture of Silence. Facebook had internal checks and committees, but according to Wynn-Williams, real dissent was rare. Employees who raised ethical concerns were often sidelined, gaslit, or branded as not team players. There was pressure to believe in the mission no matter what. Loyalty was valued over questioning, and careers could be quietly derailed for asking the wrong questions. This section is a brutal but necessary look at how tech companies can slowly erode internal accountability. Section 4. Breaking point. The turning point for Wynn-Williams came after a series of decisions that prioritized the platform over human impact. She recounts her personal disillusionment. Watching reports of violence fueled by misinformation on Facebook. Hearing firsthand from policy leaders and civil society groups about the platform's role in destabilizing communities. Realizing that many at the top no longer questioned whether they were doing harm, they were just managing risk. There came a point when I could no longer defend the silence. This chapter is raw, emotional, and pivotal. It shows the human cost of complicity. Section 5. Global Impact. Wynn-Williams explores how Facebook's influence extended far beyond Silicon Valley. From Myanmar to India, from elections to mental health, the ripple effects were devastating. She shares how the platform was used to incite violence abroad, the disconnect between Facebook HQ and vulnerable countries, how moderation policies failed to account for global diversity and context. It's a sobering reminder that a platform built in California was shaping societies it barely understood. Section 6. Speaking out and the cost of truth. Deciding to speak out wasn't easy. Wynn-Williams knew she'd face criticism, isolation, and professional risk. But she also knew silence was no longer an option. This section explores the emotional toll of whistleblowing. Why change rarely comes from the inside. How systems protect themselves even when they know they're wrong. I didn't leave because I hated the company. I left because I still cared. Her choice to tell the truth is an act of courage and a warning. Section 7. Key takeaways and lessons for the future. Wynn-Williams closes the book with powerful reflections. Tech must be held to ethical standards, not just financial ones. Internal values mean nothing without accountability. We need brave voices inside and outside the system. She calls for transparency and content moderation, accountability for algorithmic harm, mental health support in high-pressure industries. This is a roadmap for future tech leaders and a wake-up call for users. Final review and why this book matters. Careless People isn't just a memoir, it's a mirror. It reflects back the careless ambition of big tech, the seductive comfort of silence, and the high cost of doing nothing. This book is for tech professionals and startup founders, policymakers and regulators, everyday users who want to understand how platforms shape the world. It's honest, uncomfortable, and necessary, because the future of tech depends on what we tolerate and what we refuse to. If this summary resonated with you, share it. Read the book, start the conversation, and ask yourself, what systems am I a part of, and what am I willing to question? Follow Some and Sense for more honest, thought-provoking book breakdowns that challenge the way we think, lead, and live. Want to read the whole book? Or love stories like this? You'll find thousands more at www.e-booksunlimited.com, over 700,000 ebooks across 500 genres, packed with titles from your favorite top authors. Check out the link below for all the details.